In Bylea, Miss Martian wakes up atop a moonlight hill. She is in a desert, but confused about where she is. She realizes that she is on Earth, but doesn't know how she got here or why. Superboy lands in front of her but doesn't seem to recognize her. He looks down at his shirt before ripping it off in a feral rage and jumping away. Still in the desert, Robin is stuck as well. He leans against a rock and witnesses a tank drive by. Robin realizes that he is in Bylea and that it is September, 6 months after his last memory. He is about to radio Batman when a memory resurfaces of Batman telling him not to use the radio at any cost. He jumps off the rock and discovers the remains of Superboy's shirt. Kid Flash and Artemis are in an abandoned house on an empty plane. They do not recognize one another. Artemis thinks that she is being tested by her father and is supposed to kill Kid Flash. Before she has the chance to try, a bomb descends on the house. They escape but are followed by tanks full of soldiers intent on gunning them down. Artemis tries to stay and fight, but Kid Flash wisely whisks her away. Miss Martian flies above the desert, still unsure how she got here. She tries to remember, and has flashes of memories of the Junior League. She sets off to look for her friends. She tries to radio to them telepathically, but with no luck. Superboy comes across Artemis and Kid Flash and, still in a rage, attacks them. More tanks find the three of them, but Superboy turns course to fight them off. Kid Flash scoops up Artemis and begins to run away when Miss Martian finds them. She takes down planes that have come to attack the heroes. Miss Martian realizes that Artemis and Kid Flash, like Superboy, have lost their memories. Back at the tanks, Superboy is still fighting, although he has been tied up and somewhat subdued. The lead soldier talks to a hooded figure, Simon, and tells him that he must control Superboy's mind. It appears that there is not much mind left for him to control, but Simon manages to knock Superboy unconscious. Nearby, Aquaboy lies unconscious on the sand. Robin is on his own and still attempting to figure out where he is and why. He comes across a group of soldiers and begins to fight them when Artemis, Kid Flash, and Miss Martian show up to help him out. They realize that they all have the same amount of memory loss except for Miss Martian, who is able to recover her own memories due to her telepathic powers. Miss Martian brings the junior heroes into her mind and tells them she needs their help to restore everyone's memories. They must open their minds to her and allow her to stitch everything together. Their memories reveal that Batman sent them to the Bylea desert when a power surge was detected and extraterrestrial elements were found. He warns them that they must maintain radio silence as Queen Bee, who rules the territory, can intercept any communication. They remember arriving in the desert and Aqualad. The junior heroes rush to find him. In a room somewhere in the desert, Superboy is being tortured. The junior heroes find Aqualad, but he is unconscious from the dryness of the desert. He needs water. The junior heroes argue about who needs more help, Aqualad or Superboy. Miss Martian can telepathically feel Superboy's pain, and she rushes to find him before the team can stop her. Miss Martian arrives at the lab to help Superboy but encounters Simon at the scene. He takes off his hood to reveal a giant brain and attempts to take Miss Martian's memories from her again. However, while they are inside her head, she manages to collect more of her memories and recalls their arrival. She sees a giant sphere and witnesses the soldiers performing experiments on Wennet. Miss Martian fights back, and a battle begins in her mind. The remaining junior heroes are attempting to carry Aqualad to safety. They realize that they are all running low on energy and weapons. Miss Martian and Simon continue to fight for control of her mind. Superboy wakes up and realizes that Miss Martian is in the room with him. The sphere breaks free and helps Superboy escape, and even though he doesn't remember Miss Martian, he rushes to her rescue. When he accidentally enters her mind, Miss Martian manages to restore his memories. Superboy and the sphere work to fight the soldiers outside while Miss Martian fights Simon inside her head. When Superboy again joins Miss Martian in her mind, they are able to use their collective power to defeat Simon and push him out of her mind. The remainder of the Junior League is in Miss Martian's ship tending to Aqualad. He wakes up and is still missing his memories. Miss Martian returns with Superboy and the sphere in tow to fix Aqualad's mind and bring them all home. In a room, Simon is debriefing with the Light. He tells them that the Junior League escaped and that they took the sphere with them. They tell him that it doesn't matter. What really matters is that the test of their new partner's delivery system went well. Bringing up a video, they show Simon how the sphere was teleported into the desert, seemingly from thin air. More tech is on the way, tech that can defeat the sphere and possibly even Superboy. Simon smiles an evil smile. On episode 10, at a peace summit in Taipei, a reporter is giving a newscast about the conference and a conflict between the North and South Relation generals. A moderator has been brought in to broker peace. The reporter says that there has been speculation that it could be Superman, but this is unlikely as the moderator will be arriving shortly by car, not cape. At the side of the building, Red Arrow is disguised in a black business suit. He is on the phone with Aqualad, asking him for information from the Justice League database about a particular assassin known as Cheshire. He needs to know her exact height. Aqualad pulls up the information to give it to him. We see that this is the masked assassin Artemis let go months ago, when the Junior League was attacked by the League of Shadows. Aqualad wants to know if Red Arrow needs backup, but he scoffs and says that he doesn't need the junior team. Aqualad points out that he obviously needs their computers. Red Arrow uses his glasses to scan the height of the crowd outside the summit. He finds a candidate that seems to match the assassin's description. Just then, the arbitrator arrives in a white car. Cheshire has made her way up to the roof and is pointing a missile launcher at the car, waiting for the mysterious person to exit. Red Arrow shoots an arrow at her and stops her, sending the missile into the sky. The crowd below runs from the building, screaming. Cheshire and Red Arrow fight each other but are quickly surrounded by armed guards pointing guns at them. The assassination attempt has failed. The targeted man steps out of the car and is revealed to be Lex Luthor, Superman's archenemy. Cheshire is taken away in the back of a police car. The police tell Luthor that Red Arrow is associated with Green Arrow. Luthor tells the guards that it's okay, and that they can release the sidekick. Red Arrow says that he doesn't need Luthor's help, and still sees him as the bad guy. Luthor says that this time he is on the side of the good guys, and they both go inside. The generals of North and South Ralasia are arguing with one another, each accusing the other of hiring the assassin. Red Arrow wants to know why Luthor is helping Ralasia. Lex says his company, LexCorp, is founded on the peaceful enterprise for all humanity. Red Arrow doesn't buy it. He knows that LexCorp has shell corporations selling weapons to both sides. Lex tells him that more money can be made if Ralasia is united, and that regardless of his motives or who will profit, he knows that peace is the most important thing to a hero like Red Arrow. Red Arrow knows that no matter what, the League of Shadows won't stop just because Cheshire was arrested. They will simply send another assassin. But is it really Lex Luthor the Shadows were after? Or is their goal to stop Ralasia from uniting? Luthor says he will hire Red Arrow to find out, but Red Arrow won't take his money. At Mount Justice, Superboy is working on his motorcycle. The Sphere is hanging out with Superboy when Miss Martian shows up, excited for their first day of school. Her uncle, Martian Manhunter, is there to see them off. Superboy is once again disappointed that Superman has no interest in him. They give Superboy the name Connor Kent to go by while he is at school. He agrees, not knowing that Kent is Superman's alias, Clark's last name. At the jail, Red Arrow is interrogating Cheshire. He is trying to find out what her goal is, but she won't reveal much information. Cheshire asks about the archery girl and the rest of the Junior League, but Red Arrow thinks he has surpassed them. Cheshire doubts it and ducks her head as the cell wall is blown open and Sportsmaster comes to her rescue. She doesn't seem happy to see him, but they escape together anyway. Red Arrow tries to follow. They escape via helicopter, but Red Arrow manages to embed a tracker in it. Cheshire and Sportsmaster are arguing with one another when the Master of the League of Shadows, Ra's al Ghul, appears. Ghul is upset that the assassination attempt on Lex Luthor has failed. Peaceful nations are bad for business, as countries that are not at war do not usually hire assassins. Red Arrow is spying on them from a nearby rooftop. Ghul tells Cheshire and the other assassin that they must take down Luthor and stop Red Arrow from interfering. Red Arrow tries to fight the assassins, but he is outnumbered. At Happy Harbor High School, Connor and Megan, aka Superboy and Miss Martian, are starting school. Superboy is mad because everyone at school is wearing superhero shirts, while Miss Martian made him change out of his to protect his identity. Superboy's bad attitude gets him in trouble with some of the other students, while Miss Martian is invited to join the cheerleading squad. In Taipei, Red Arrow must jump off the roof and into a river to avoid being eliminated. He calls Aqualad and tells him that he needs his help. He returns to Luthor and tells him that Ghul is out to kill him, but Lex is not surprised. In class, Superboy and Miss Martian are learning about Ralasia. Superboy doesn't understand why the Ralasians are fighting. Miss Martian tells him telepathically that it is the same on Mars, but that doesn't make it right. At the Peace Summit, the generals cannot come to an agreement. Lex tries to remind the generals that they still have things in common, such as their tea ceremony. When a girl wheels in the tea with a painted face, Aqualad instantly recognizes her as Cheshire. She smiles when he discovers her and deploys a bomb. Aqualad puts up a shield of water, protecting all the members of the summit. Sportsmaster and other League of Shadows assassins appear on a helicopter. Red Arrow battles Cheshire while Aqualad takes on Sportsmaster. Sportsmaster tells Aqualad that he and Red Arrow are doing better than the Junior League did at Santa Prisca of Bylea. Aqualad is confused about how Sportsmaster knows anything about their missions. Sportsmaster reveals that he has a source inside the Junior League. Red Arrow sets off the sprinklers. Aqualad fights off the assassins using the water, although Sportsmaster and Cheshire manage to escape. The Ralasians attribute the win to Lex Luthor and agree to sign the treaty. Outside, Red Arrow still refuses to join the Junior League, but he wants to know if Aqualad really thinks one of them could be a spy. He says that he doesn't know, but he will try to find out. It is revealed that Lex Luthor and Ra's al Ghul were working together and that they may be a part of the Light, or at least working for them.